You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.
Oh,
You're above me.
Oh, I switched to views where horizontal.
So it's not that I'm retarded. I just can't. I have no idea when it comes out. I don't know if you're going to be here or here. I don't know.
Okay, do gallery and you'll see it.
So that's why I did both.
No,
but that looks like I'm jerking someone off, or two guys off, I should say. Yeah. Gallery view? How do I do that? For those just listening, no, I'm in gallery view, Dad.
Okay. All right.
For those listening, we are on Zoom, although you can probably tell because it doesn't sound as good, but we are on Zoom. Dad's, even though we're only, we're like 40 miles away from each other.
Well, we both just got back from being out of town and it's late and it's a lot for you to travel up here to our studio to do what we got to do. So,
yeah, I was on a 6-hour flight and I was like, I just can't drive 2 hours.
You didn't text us when you were taking off.
Yeah, sorry.
That's a Bloom thing, bro.
I mean, it's so bright
Do
in my
you
room.
step with the right and tap with the right still?
I don't tap and I never have. You're talking about, so Dad's talking about like on an airplane. My mom had.
These are Bloom secrets. Don't give them away because
it's not because I've talked to other people and they're like, yeah, I always step on with my right. So it's just like, I don't know, a superstition thing. I step on with my right just because it's like, now I'm just used to it. But like Mom would, when we were kids, would make us like touch the plane with our right hand as we stepped on. Why?
It's just a thing. And no big deal. So tell me, you were in California. How was your weekend?
It was great. I was in California. You were in Charleston.
Yep, but I want to hear about your weekend.
It was good. I just hung out, saw some friends.
Who'd you end up seeing?
I don't need to name them all on here. Because there's also some people that I didn't see, and I don't know if I want to like, be like, oh, I only saw these people. You know what I mean?
Well, you were only in for a short time, so you can only do so much.
Yeah.
You can't.
But I did. Listen,
you can't please everybody, bro. Remember that.
Right. But there were like some people that I didn't even reach out to. And I'm like, oh God.
You were in for a very short time. You can only do so much.
Yeah. Yeah. And I purposefully only reached out to certain people. But I mean, I hope none of them are listening, but it is what it is. I made that choice.
It's not offensive to the people you didn't reach out. You just limited time. You can only do so much.
Yeah. I was literally there for 72 hours.
But you had a nice time?
Yeah. Good time.
Anything special?
No, I mean, the thing is, like, I lived there, I mean, you knew that. So it's not like I need to do anything, it's like going back home almost, where I was happy to just like hang out, drive around, eat good food, hang out.
How's Burke's car?
Good.
Back in its spot, sleeping, you gave Max the key?
Yep, it's in its spot. I put gas in it. It was clean. Well, because remember when we dropped it off. So I got in the car, Burke's car, because Burke's abroad, as all of you listening know, I'm sure. But Burke's car, remember we drove it up from San Diego and then we dropped it off and we were running late. So I was like, we have to go now, right? So I forgot about that. I got in the car and it was perfectly set up for me, right? It was like the seat was in where I like the seat, the rear mirrors. I was like, why is it? Like, what a coincidence. Funny. And then I was like, no, I was the last one to drive this car. That's so funny. Yeah.
And, all right. So then, and the flight was no problem, right?
Yeah. So I missed my flight, which was really annoying. The first time I've ever missed my flight too. And Bryce missed his flight last week to New York. And I was giving him so much shit for it. I was like, how the hell do you miss a flight? Who misses flights? That's insane. I've never missed a flight. And then literally 4 days after I said that to him, in the 27 years of my entire life, I missed my first flight.
Why'd you miss it?
My phone turned off. I
remember you telling me that.
It was I set 2 alarms. I've had an iPhone for 12 years and never had my phone turned off. It wasn't dead. It was at 100% battery when I was able to get it on. It just shut off. So my alarms, of course, didn't go off. And I woke up 20 minutes before my flight took off. And I was like, fuck.
And you're out. You're just out of it. You're not making it.
No, of course not. Like I woke up and I would have had to be at like, it was like almost done with boarding. And I just woke up. So I was like,
I got that alarm clock now. So we're going, snowmobiling on Thursday. So Wednesday night I'm gonna stay in Miami. Well, we'll talk, but we gotta make sure we speak to one another to make sure I'm up now. You got me nervous.
Well, do we have to be up early? What time's our flight?
I think it's like at 8 a.m.
Ugh.
Fuck. And I'm a little further than you where the place is. There shouldn't be traffic at that time.
You're like 10 minutes further.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
And there might be traffic actually.
I got you guys really cool shirts from this distillery called Firefly Distillery.
Okay, cool.
So I thought you were coming up, and I'll bring them to and then we got you. So it was mom and I went with our group, our friends that we travel with. We went to where'd we go? Oh, South Carolina, Charleston.
We went to Charleston.
Carolina. Yeah, for the this wine and food festival. The festival's okay. I mean, a lot of drinking going on with everybody.
So you probably had a blast.
Honestly, so it was.
That was a joke.
I had a great time. I really did have a good time. I really always loved being with my friends. Great weekend. Charleston's a great city. Really nice, really fun.
Yeah.
Some of the drinking. Oh, so listen to this. So we go into this place, Halls, which is a great steakhouse.
I've been there with you.
Remember that? Yeah. We went to a different one, right?
Yeah, the original.
We went to the original or not?
No, when I went with you, we went to like the new version, the second one.
It looked identical.
Okay.
They have 6 of them. It literally, I thought it was the same.
Oh, there's 6 of them. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it looked fucking identical. And I thought it's the one you and I went to, but it wasn't as good as the one when we went to, for whatever reason.
Oh, really? That sucks.
It wasn't. So we're sitting there, and it's like 10 or 12 of us, which is, if you ask me, 8 too many, okay, or 6 too many.
Yeah, 8 too many. Just you and mom?
No, I want like 3 couples. It was a little, or 4 couples, a little too much. So we're in a rectangle.
Because then you can't all be a group. When there's 10 people, you have to split up into like 2 groups.
And if it's in table of 8, it's round. It's a big difference. Remember, when we went, big difference was round as opposed to rectangle.
Yeah.
So we're sitting down, mom and I, Michelle at one end, and Terry, and we had a couple other people, and this mother and these 2 girls in their early 20s, white trash, whatever. They sit down, and all of a sudden the girl starts like, we sat down 5 minutes, whatever. The girl starts like wailing back, and like we thought she might have been choking, but she was having a seizure.
Oh God!
Like I'm talking this close to us, where Michelle's back to where was to her back.
Yeah.
So I get up. Michelle with the registered nurse. She gets up, that's helping, and the girl's throwing up, and the fucking sister, like the 21-year-old sister, such white trash, is trashed and cursing and saying call 911 and cursing everybody. And we already called 911, right? So we got to start. So I start moving tables and chairs to get the girl on the ground, just so to hit her head. And apparently the girl's on seizure medicine, but because she wanted to drink, she was with her mother-in-law and the fucking sister, like white trash losers. They had like 5 drinks and whatever it was. It was really sad.
Yeah.
So then we're there, and the paramedics come up after, like 4 paramedics. And Michelle was amazing. She did a great job, really, really great job. And the girl was so not the one having the seizure, but the sister was such a fucking nut job. And I said to the people in the place, like, you got to call the police. You got to get like, and
why? She was like hysterical.
She was just so. She sort of made it about her. That's my sister. I came but she was trash, and had the low class, like as low class as you get. So you have those 3 things into it. Follow what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
Like I'm like, don't get the ambulance. I'm like, we called the ambulance. Get him now, fuck. Get him now, like crazy. And she was hovering over her sister. And when apparently if you have someone in seizure, you like keep them close and tight on the ground and calm, like because the girl would go in and out of her seizure. She had Michelle's like multiple seizures. No.
Oh my God.
So up comes this biggest black I've ever seen in my life. Like the nice guy bouncer at the bar who worked at like he was the
biggest black. Did you just say biggest black or biggest black guy?
Biggest black guy.
Okay, I heard because it cut out for a second, so I thought you said the biggest black I've ever seen. I was like, what?
Was that who speaks like that even?
Like slave owners? I don't know.
Okay,
that's why I just needed to make sure.
And he got rid of the girl, and then the 4. And I was helping. Okay, I was definitely helping. and 4 paramedics come. So then they come, and there's like 2 guys or 3 guys hurting, and then one bald guy like my size standing up, whatever. And it's very uncomfortable. We're in this one of those small rooms, like remember small rooms? So might have been 4 tables. So I'm by the door talking to Dan. I'm standing up, whatever. I'm like, oy vey, you never know. I'm like, you gotta appreciate your life, whatever. So the guy comes, that's all I said. I was very helpful. So the guy comes over and goes, you think this is funny? Why are you laughing?
The bouncer said that?
No, the fucking paramedic guy. So I'm like, the fuck you talking about? He goes, why are you laughing? I go, fuck you, I'm not laughing. And then I started again, I'm like, and he walked away and I grabbed his arm. I go, look at him, I go, well, listen, I go, fuck you, why you was such an asshole. So I'll call him, I go, call the fucking, I don't give a shit. And then it was such a dick that, and then all the other like paramedics apologized, the manager apologized, like, why would I fucking laugh? I mean,
what a shit show of a situation.
It was a shit show of a night. And then it gets so it's like mom, imagine me at the head of the table on one side, to my right is Michelle, across Michelle, to my left is mom, then Terry, and then
no one else besides me and you know these names, just so you know.
Okay, all right, then another person was JW, J. Twatty's friends, nice. So she came trashed. She goes, you trashed. And then Blank was drinking and was trashed.
Don't talk bad about people that will listen to this podcast.
I'm not. And it just became more of a shit show. No,
yeah.
It was just, listen, I don't care. There's no judgment. People do what they want. But it became such a shit show that it was like, I'm sitting there having this fucking expensive dinner. It starts off first with a fucking seizure for like an hour. The girl's throwing up on fucking Michelle, who's dressed and look nice and has on all the leather pants, throw up. Then I got to deal with this dickhead fucking, what's the guy, the paramedic. Like, fuck him. Then we sit down. Then even mom was drinking a little bit. Then it was fucking trash. I'm like,
I mean, of course it was. How would it? You were like, it wasn't as good as the first time. The first time was a world-class steak experience with just
the food
us.
Wasn't that good. Listen, food wasn't that good. Then we leave.
You were tainted the rest of the night, of course.
No, then we leave. It definitely was right. A little bit of that. Then we leave and we're trying to. It's like 11:40 at night. We're trying to find a cigar bar. Everything's fucking closed down. We're walking around for probably 12:15, and then we're fucking done. We're going home. But it was still fun, even though it was a fucking.
It sure sounds fun.
Well, you understand what I'm saying? It was very. But it was a great. I
had no seizures.
We had a good. Thank God, kind of heard poo poo.
No, like I didn't have any crazy experience. But I enjoyed LA. It was nice. The city's definitely like cleaner than it was a year ago, which is good in certain parts. And then in other parts, like I drove through because I was going to Burke's apartment or dorm from downtown. So I had to like drive through a part, and it was like the apocalypse. So like there are certain sections that are, I guess they've relegated it to certain sections. So I guess that's better than it used to be. But like through that section, I was driving and I was like, I gotta run this light. I was like, I don't want to stop at the stop sign. Bad. Yeah, I was like, I ran stop sign because I was like, I don't want to be sitting here because it was just like
Jesus.
But that was just certain parts. So like a lot of the city was doing well. There's no COVID stuff whatsoever anymore, which is nice.
Plus, we know that shit's all fucking joking.
Yeah, but it's nice to see that like how when I was in New York, I said the same thing. Yeah, and that's it. It's just, again, funny, like when I was in New York, I was saying how New York like has such a distinct culture that's different than Miami and different than LA. Like it's so funny how just we're all in the same country and we're all the same. It's like people my age, we're all the same. We all have the internet and all the same, but everyone dresses differently in these different cities. Everyone acts differently in these different cities.
Yeah.
And like me, like now it's so funny being here, and I guess just like Miami, like the Miami influence and the New York influence, like I stand out like a sore thumb in LA, like my personality does, because everyone there is so reserved.
You're also bloom, brother. There's a difference.
And I don't know if that was the case when I used to live there, and I might have just not been aware of it, but like I'm hyper aware of it now. We're like I don't know, something about it. Like everyone in that city is just not everyone. But the culture of it's just California kind of in general is very like West Coast, it's just passive, a little lax. and then I'm walking to all these stores and restaurants and just being like taking control of situations.
Well, that's a bloom. That's
Yeah,
a
but
bloom,
it's just
brother.
funny. It's funny because people there don't know how to handle it. You know,
No,
we're like people in New York. When I was just in New York, people in New York know how to handle that shit. Everyone in New York is like that.
Our waiter was from New York, originally Jersey, and he was right on the money. Like,
Yeah,
we got along perfectly. That kind of thing.
It's just funny that like there's just so many different cultures in this country.
Well, look at even you go to Massachusetts, the people have a fucking accent, and it's just and Connecticut's a half an hour away, and the people from Connecticut speak differently just from the Bostonians.
Yeah.
So there's my good friend's wife. She has a coworker that's been listening to us named Dylan. So I want to give a shout out. I FaceTimed when I was at the wine and food. And so Dylan, just want to give a shout out to you, like I told you, brother. Thanks for being a loyal listener. And,
hey, Dylan, what's up?
Yeah, it was cool to shoot the shit with him. All right, so we had a great time. Love the fucking city. It's late, but we're back, and then we leave again Thursday. But I really enjoyed Charleston. Really enjoyed it. It was a nice time, other than the
you guys are
show.
Traveling so like we both were away this weekend. We're both away next weekend, and then in 2 weeks we're away for a full week.
Oh, I'm exhausted. I'm not gonna lie, Ronnie.
Yeah.
I'm fucking.
But at least like Charleston, how long was your flight? Hour and a half?
10 minutes.
Yeah. Mine was 5.5 hours. It's like that's exhausting.
Well, listen.
And I was in the middle seat. The middle because I missed my flight, so I had to like rebook my flights, and so it was 2 days before my flight. So I was literally in the middle today.
That sucks. And then we're in Miami 17. Last weekend we were away. Weren't we away last weekend?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was on the boat. Yeah, I didn't stay home.
That's not really that's not really like traveling.
I was still being away, bro. But
you're like living out of a suitcase.
That was a great weekend.
Yeah.
So what else is going on, brother?
Nothing. If I had the soundboard, I would click the red button.
Click it. Where's the soundboard?
Right here in my closet.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I have all the equipment here.
Are you bringing it to Wyoming?
Yeah, we'll do an episode there.
Okay.
There's a few things we can talk about. There's one that's really good, but I think I'm gonna save it for Patreon because I think like we'll literally I don't think we'll be able to talk about it for free.
Okay.
Like I think YouTube, YouTube will like remove the video for us talking about it. So that'll be on Patreon. It's like this crazy just video about like it was the Cut or Jubilee or some like YouTube channel that was asking a bunch of black people about like they were just asking them questions. And it was just really, Bryce sent it to me and I watched it and my jaw was dropped. So I can't wait for you to, but we'll do it on Patreon because then we don't have to worry about it getting
gotcha. Hey, did Jason put his new credit card in for the fucking Patreon?
Yeah, don't have to talk about that on here.
Why doesn't no one knows when I'm talking about the name?
Yeah, but like we already talked about it, and we're in a podcast. We don't need to talk about one person joining Patreon.
This is what we do in a podcast, brother. All right. So, what would you like to talk about?
We can talk about this. There's all this. So, speaking of LA, there was this new shit that's going on in LA this week that is kind of crazy. So, let me get it up. The LAPD is doing something. Let me see. They're like changing here. So the LA, it says here, LA, I'll just share my screen with you so that you can see it. That'll make it easier. The fuck do I share? There we go.
Jesus,
can you see what I'm seeing?
I can. Your lighting is terrible, brother.
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't have hi-hats in my apartment.
Wait, unarmed? Can I get the caption go down?
Yeah, so it says the union representing officers of the LAPD has submitted a proposal to the city council to start an unarmed police unit to deal with certain nonviolent calls. So in the proposal, unarmed response calls that the LAPD would no longer respond to would include disputes between landlords and tenants, syringe disposals, homeless encampment cleanups, drinking in public, a person dumping trash, loitering and trespassing, and illegal gambling. And then this is from the union. It says police experts are not psychologists We are not psychiatrists. We are not mental health experts. We are not social workers, doctors, nurses, or waste management experts. I do believe that many people think we should be all those things, but we're not. We should be focused on responding to emergencies, saving lives, property, and of course, engaging in community policing.
Right.
So what they're saying, what the plan for LA?
No one's going to be a police officer. Never happened.
Well, so I mean, at first, I feel like this is a good idea. It probably will play out.
Why?
It's saying like, why should a police officer, right, whose job is like to protect the law and like citizens?
What if something escalates? What if it escalates? Yeah,
but like, I mean, that's the thing, and obviously, so that's, I mean, right. That's why I said at first hand, like, why would
wait, not even a first hand. It wasn't a thought. Police have been armed since the fucking beginning, and they should fucking be armed, period. So it doesn't even
mean it doesn't mean police not carrying guns. What the proposal says is that instead of like police responding to mental health things, right, a mental health call, a psychologist will respond.
That's not what it says.
No, that's what they're proposing.
No.
So the unarmed police forces.
What you read to me was police will be unarmed responding to those kind of instances.
No. So what it is, I read more of it. I mean, I guess we can see it in here. That they want to like train specific officers for just that. So they want to have police that do violent stuff, and then they want to have I guess they're going to call them police, but they're not police, right? Because they're not policing. And then they want to have people that are trained just in like social work and mental health and that stuff.
Yeah.
So that there's different.
California hasn't done one thing right. You know that, right?
But I mean, like part of it makes sense. What like, so the reasoning why they gave it was, I mean, like they said it in that thing, but another quote that I saw about it said, like police waste a lot of their time doing like bullshit stuff that isn't in their training, right? Like a landlord dispute where it's like, why would a police officer whose only training is like law enforcement, right? And like protecting people, they're not, that has nothing to do with them. And now they're taken away from like, let's say there's a robbery down the street. They're busy because they're in this thing.
Because that's not how it works. If they're doing a landlord-tenant eviction and being there to keep the peace, and then they get a call as a robbery down the block, they're going to stop it. Then they're going to go to a robbery down the block. Number one. Number two, you never know what can escalate or not escalate. For example,
but that's also just life every day with everyone.
So you can have a tenant. Listen, a tenant that's not going to leave absent a writ of possession, the sheriff being there to remove them, is a hostile environment in of itself where you need the police, right? Because otherwise the fucking tenant would have left, so they're a fucking ass. Two, someone that's can do something illegally, you don't have to have armed guards. What it deals, you're doing money at some illegal event, you need police. Someone that's drinking on the street or intoxication, that shit escalates real fucking quick, okay? So I would never, ever, if I was a police officer, want to go in a situation without knowing that. And by the way, half the fucking police.
When do police officers ever use their guns, though? Like they never use their guns.
It's a deterrent, a huge difference. Okay. Second of all, right? So you have these unfit where they get these people in there just for affirmative action. When I was visiting Bryce. Listen,
okay.
When I was visiting Bryce in Miami, and right before I visited you, I was in the elevator with a woman police officer. She probably was 5'2" at her best, Spanish woman. She's very short hair. She was like very butch, like a dude. 5'2", probably almost the same height and width. Okay. And she had her vest on, all the stuff with her vest. She had on a can of what do you call those beaner clips, all her car keys in that. She couldn't run 10 feet, mind you, if she had to. And Zarai might have been able to beat her up. Do you know what I'm trying to say? There was no way she had any.
Right. So you're proving the point. So like, why does she need? Like,
no,
the police are already incapable
because someone because they can't get police officers. So unfortunately, it's like why are 90-year-olds still able to drive? Because they're the voters, right? So we can't have people. I think these physical challenges.
What do you mean?
Meaning the reason why 90-year-old people can still drive is because
I understand that, but how does that have to do anything with police? The people who become police are people who want to be police.
No, I'm making an analogy. The problem is
Right. I'm saying, what is the analogy?
If you stop talking, I'm going to have to tell you. So I'm saying the reason why they don't do these physical fitness tests after they pass the initial test, because then they would have no police officers, because there's just not enough police officers out there.
Right. So exactly. So then what do you do then? I'm asking. So like if you want everyone, so no, but I'm saying like if you want all police to be like fit and like right in shape and military, but then you won't have any police officers, then what do you do?
Well, that's a problem, but that's a little bit separate from what I'm saying. But my point is,
but that's the reality we live in.
No, that woman, it is the reality. That woman, I think, needs her gun and her training to be able to use it, because she has no other ability to if someone was to attack her or wasn't listening, she could go freeze or do what she needs to do. So she needs that gun. That gives her an upper hand. And to have police officers without guns, when situations could become volatile or turn very quickly, it's never going to happen. And of course, it's California doing it, because they're the dumbest fucking state that exists. So of course they're doing it, and let them do it, because no one will remain in that state.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if a gun, like, I mean, it's not the case. Gun, like police having guns isn't a deterrent, because crime is worse than like it's not deterring crime. When does it ever deter crime? Because crime is rampant.
You need it because there's so much more violence out there. You need it.
But why? Is it stopping crime? Are police stopping crime?
Okay, well, no. I think crime would be a lot worse if they didn't have that.
Do you? That's a huge
assumption. Okay, Bronson.
I think criminals just commit crimes. Like, I don't think they're doing it because like a police officer might have a gun. The people still will commit the crime like that. We see it all the time. We see all these body cam footage and all these car chases. People just do what they want to do.
Okay, you really think so? Last time I was walking down, like I think it was Broad Street or King Street. It was late night or midnight, looking for cigar bar, and it was like it reminded me of when we were in sort of Austin, that bad section we walked through. That was sort of like
6th Street.
It was really seedy bars, and they, even though it was 2 lanes, they made 1 lane with barriers. And there were loads of police on the street. Now, I felt more comfortable because every block there were 2 or 3 cars.
Yeah.
Station. If they didn't have guns, let me tell you something. I'm not that. Imagine I have kids at home. I'm police officer without a gun. I'm gonna fucking defend somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a cultural thing, and it might just be America. We need like Israel. The police carry literal machine guns,
and I'm happy with that.
Right, but if that would never fly here, right? It's different cultures. So why wouldn't, right? If you think our police need guns as deterrents, why wouldn't we arm them with the best and craziest guns? Okay, why wouldn't we give them rocket launchers? You know, like
so when I was in, I forget what airport a while back, and they had military in the airport.
Right, but military is very different.
Okay, no, but I might even be a police officer.
Military is very different.
Listen, and they had him with the AKs on them, and it was fucking awesome. You would
want like when you go to Israel, I would not want to live in a country that on every street corner there's someone patrolling with a machine gun. Why would I want to live in that world? But like, why would you want to live? I just wouldn't want to. That means there's a problem. If there's like the only people who have private security or like bodyguards, people who have bodyguards, that means that there's a problem that they needed to hire the bodyguard for.
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay, of course it does. Because no one, because
it doesn't mean there's a problem. It means you're trying to avoid a problem. It doesn't mean you have a problem.
Right, but that's a problem in and of itself. I don't need a bodyguard because that's not a problem in my life.
There's a reality that the people are fucking crazy, and it's even getting worse.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying it's cultural, I think, because the UK, the police don't have guns.
Okay, listen,
and I bet our crime is more than theirs. I mean, we can actually, let's look it up. I'd be curious. Their police do not carry guns. They don't. The military does, but let's see.
I have zero issues if there are people in the street corners with AK-47s.
You'd want in Boca. You would want guns in every street corner.
Why would that problem? If it'd be much safer, no one would fuck around.
But do you feel, that's what I'm saying, like right now in Boca, do you feel like that people do fuck around, that you need guns to stop them fucking around?
Not in this area, but
okay, so then you would just want it to want it. There's not a need for it, right?
No, I'm saying if
but let's talk about Boca. That's what I'm saying, because that's where you live.
I'm talking about society. I talk about the airport. I'm fine if there were people like it was in Israel. The fucking people want to walk around.
Yeah, but the airport's totally different too, because that's a high security thing. In Israel, they're on every street corner, and it's because. But you realize there aren't soldiers on every street corner with guns in Israel because it's cool. They're there because there's a problem, and they need the security there in case shit goes wrong.
Yes, and America has a major problem too.
This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, who has been infiltrating my life more and more every day, and it's made it better. Like, I literally walk into my bathroom now, and it's just all Manscaped shit, because now I have the new Beard Hedger Pro, right, and the whole kit. So on my counter, and I have 2 sinks in my bathroom. I know it's I'm kind of a big deal. And one sink is like now my Manscaped sink. I have my Beard Hedger, which is their new trimmer, which is the fucking best for your beard. It's like, it has so many different settings, so you can like get every little, you can trim it down to whatever length you want. So I have that. I have my lawnmower right next to it, which I use for my balls and my chest and my taint and my goop.
Great with Manscaped. They made a fucking rack for the shit to hold everything.
They should, yeah.
Because we have
Manscaped, do it.
Because I have a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
And it would be neat if it was just like stacked perfect, like
an organizer.
But like in a salon where it sits in a thing, so the cords are lower.
Yeah.
You don't see
Manscaped,
it.
we'll talk about that.
You should let them know.
And I'm sure they'll get on it because they listen to their customers.
And they're the best.
So not only do I have I have my beard hedger, I have my lawnmower right there, right? I have my weed whacker, which I use for my nose and my ears.
I still think that's the best thing.
Yeah, that's like the low-key sleeper one that you need more than the others.
And sometimes when it zaps the nose here, the sound, I like it.
Yeah, it's like when you're catching bugs, with the electric
doing
thing.
laundry.
Doing laundry.
You feel satisfied.
So I have those. And then with this new beard hedger kit that came out, if you buy the whole kit, so I have my beard shampoo, which is my shower, alongside my Manscaped 2-in-1 conditioner, shampoo and conditioner, and my body wash, literally all in my shower.
Proud of you.
And then on my sink, then I also have my beard conditioner, which now I've been putting on after, and my beard hair is not as prickly, right? So it's like,
Let me feel.
if I'm kissing anyone, it's not going to irritate.
It's not so bad. It's still a little hurts.
Well, it's because it's so short,
Feel sorry
because I
for the
just
girl.
trimmed it.
Yeah.
And then my beard balm is there. I have my so in this new Beard Hedger Pro kit, not only do you get a lot of the things that I just mentioned, but they give you 3 free gifts in it. So I have my nice brush, my nice wood
great brush
that I
like.
I barely have any hair in my beard, but I like brushing it down just because it feels good with the brush. And then it comes with a nice comb and a nice pair of scissors, which makes me feel like a fucking professional barber. So they've taken over my life, and it's made it better. Like I feel cleaner. I look better.
You have the one set from them. We got to get another set from them.
What do you mean?
Another one of those beard ones.
Oh, we'll get you a beard one.
Get me one.
I have one. Bryce has one. We'll get you one.
Yeah, okay, good.
So everyone go check it out. It's really great. If you head over to manscaped.com and you use the code DaddyIssues20, you'll get 20% off your entire order, and you can get all the things that I just mentioned.
Great fucking gift idea, guys. Great fucking gift idea.
It really is. It's not like you need it in your life, but also just give it to all the men in your life, and women, and non-binary people.
Yeah, reasonably priced, great gift. I'm telling you, they'll be very thankful.
So once again, head over to manscaped.com, use the code DaddyIssues20. You'll get 20% off your order and free shipping.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. If there's guns everywhere, that's a Band-Aid to the cut. That means that, right, it's because not every society has that everywhere. Boca doesn't have it, and Boca's fine. You actually would prefer to live in Boca than anywhere else, and Boca doesn't have guns everywhere. So it's not a necessity of society. It actually shows that there's a problem in the society.
Well, we know there's a problem, but it's not fixable.
Right, but you're saying you want that. I'm saying let's fix the problem.
Yeah, and Brian, and I'm saying it's nice to have a unicorn. The unicorns exist, right?
Right, but Dad, it's a spectrum. It's a spectrum because
the problem.
But it's clearly a spectrum because Israel, we're better than Israel in that, right? We don't have security with machine guns on the street. So if you're just it's a reality of the world that you need to have that, it's actually not, because we don't have it like Israel does.
I'm saying you asked me, I said I would have no problem with it. That's just my opinion. It wouldn't bother
Right. And
me.
then for me, if I do have a problem with it because that would meet, it's not that I have a problem with it. I wouldn't want to live in a place that needs that because then I'm like, this is a dangerous place. Let me just be in a safe place. Right. It's not like if there are guns everywhere and people
Like
patrolling,
Mexico.
that
Remember
means it's
Mexico?
dangerous.
Remember Mexico went to that little festival
Yeah.
and it was all family state and the police were there and they had the machine guns.
Right. And so exactly like that would never happen in Boca because it's safe. So the reason why the police with machine guns have to be there just in case is because it's not safe. And so that's why I'm saying I wouldn't want to live in a place where police have to be there with machine guns just in case.
Yeah, I get it. You don't might not want to live there, but you have to live your life and you walk out of your little safe little bubble and environment and you go to areas that are, like you just said, I went through LA, I wouldn't stop at the stop sign.
Right, but that's why I'm saying, like you said, I would have no problem with it. And I'm saying I would have a problem. I don't want to live in that world. I don't want to live in a world that's patrolled.
But in the other areas that you feel unsafe, that are unsafe.
But I don't go to those areas.
But you do. You drove when you went through the stop.
Yeah, exactly. I drove right through it. I was like, oh my God, I'm not even stopping.
But that's part of our country. That's part of America. So why should they be unsafe? I think if there are police there with machine guns doing what they need to do, it becomes safe.
Yeah, I don't know. Or it might just be, it may be. I don't know. Or it might just become worse. There might be more deaths and shit.
Well, if the people that commit the crimes die, then eventually the criminals don't commit the crimes because they don't exist.
I think that's looking at it through rose-colored glasses. I think if a bunch of people in America were committing crimes and just kept dying, I think that there would be even more problems coming from that. I think people would riot and revolt. And we see it, one person, George Floyd, one person died from a police officer, and we literally had cities burned down. So you think if every criminal was just being shot?
Cities burned down because of the fucking weak and they were afraid to offend the African American movement and this and that, rather than fucking army. And the army should have came in and fucking did something. It would have stopped.
They did come in. When I was in LA.
They did nothing.
That's nothing. Towards your. Okay, so then what is your like when I was in LA, it got really dangerous during the riots, right, of George Floyd. It got so dangerous to the point that I have the videos on my phone. Remember, I would send you get pictures on every street corner. There were soldiers, not even police, soldiers with guns and Humvees on every street corner. So that's what you wanted, but now you're saying they did nothing. Like, what do you?
No, okay. Well, no, the response, you're so either you're not understanding, you're trying to. That's not what I say. What I want. The army came in because that's certain. It's different than saying a police officer carrying an AK-47. Big difference, okay? And then you brought up the riot, and that the army or the armed forces need to come in because of what was happening, and they did nothing. They didn't do anything. They were told to fucking stand down and do nothing because of the political statement, not want to offend more of the African Americans. So they let them burn and destroy. You see the way the press is. They make it look like it was a peaceful riot when they destroyed people's properties. When they went to fucking Target, they went to shoot the sneaker store, all that stuff. So the reality is that's the fucking reality. And LA, which is fucking soft and weak, was worried about the offending and they let everybody else's place be destroyed. But Newsom's place, I'm sure, was never destroyed. And Newsom's place, I'm sure, had security and fucking manicured lawns and things like that. So if they came in, the armed forces, and were allowed to stop it, all they had to do was put fucking tear gas, dump the whole fucking tear gas. They would have dispersed like fucking roaches.
Yeah, I mean, then the other
lights on, and you know, you see, I mean, the rodents disperse.
The other problem, though, which like I agree with you on when you said like the 5'2" little woman, chubby cop, right? Like, what's she gonna do? And I agree with you. That's a huge problem. And like, I feel like most of the police officers I see are like they look like they work behind a desk for 40 years and eat McDonald's every day, right?
Because it's all about affirmative action. It's not about who's qualified. It's all affirmative action.
No, I think it's because it's a shitty job that attracts shitty people. It's not affirmative action. It's the only people who want it. Like, there's not many people who want to become cops. So the only cops are people who want to become cops. It's not like
Well,
It's not like but affirmative action is like you're using it right, like with college. That's like everyone wants to be in the like affirmative action is we have 100 spots and we have 100 applicants. We have 5 spots. We're gonna give the 5 to the people of color rather than the qualified people. That's not what the case with the police.
I do.
We're in like we don't have enough qualified people who want to become police. It's
right,
it's like teachers.
It's gonna be less now even because
but then my follow-up, which because I agree with you, that's a huge problem. But then it's like, so we want those people carrying machine guns around, you know? I don't even trust them to run 5 feet, let alone carry a machine gun and just willy-nilly feel like they can like, be a military man.
Then get rid of the fucking police and let the fucking
military
the military handle it.
Yeah, but see, I hear you, but I don't want to live in that country. That sounds horrible.
Well, we live in an area like we chose, Boca, because we have a great police force. We have like hundreds of police staff officers. They get paid probably well, and it's a little bubble. But you leave it, and you go to fucking Deerfield, and or whatever, or Broward, and it's a completely different thing.
It's a shitty job. I don't mean being a police officer is shitty. I mean that like
it's a shame.
It's like because the job itself, like the idea of it, that's not what I'm saying is shitty. I'm saying the reality of that job in the day-to-day of America is shit. That's like who would ever want that? You're putting your life at risk every day. For assholes, like for gross people. You have
then you get in trouble for doing your job.
Yeah. And I mean, you don't even want it. You can't do your job because there's all these rules and stuff. And then there's no glory or thanks or appreciation or respect. So it's like, it's a shit job. Who would ever want that? But then it's a vicious cycle, right? So it's like we say, oh, the police are bad, right? Like, or like say the left. The police are bad. Police are bad. Okay, so then that makes people less inclined to become police officers. So that means now we're getting the bottom of the barrel of it. So now the police are going to be worse, right? So it's like a vicious cycle.
That's why we got to carry our own guns.
But I never even thought about that. But like by talking down of the police, you're actually bringing the police down. Like by saying the police are bad, you're directly impacting making them worse. Or instead, like it should be, instead of abolish the police, it should be like, let's build up let's make the police better. Let's all work together and make it's like the same idea with teachers. It's like the same thing. Like no one wants to be, everyone knows that teachers are important, but no one respects or cares about them. So they get paid like shit and treated like shit. So then no one wants to do it. So then only the people who are desperate.
Same with nurses too.
Yeah, exactly. Those are shit jobs.
The most important jobs get paid and treated the worst.
Literally, those are like, so that's nurses, law enforcement, teachers. That's the foundation of society. Like health, safety, and education. That's literally the foundation of our society. And they're the ones that get the bottom of the barrel. It makes no sense.
Makes no sense. I agree. Couldn't agree with you more.
And it definitely doesn't have to be that way. Like, especially with teachers. Every week, literally, I saw a headline. I'm going to share my screen again so you can see. Let's just see this. Can you see what I'm seeing? So I'm just going to Google Ukraine because they just are sending more money. So let's see, news.
Oh, God.
I'm going to do Ukraine money. U.S. has provided money, not just recruitment, to Ukraine 3 days ago. I saw a thing like from 2 days ago that said that they're getting ready to U.S. military spending reached nearly $50 billion.
Can you imagine?
Ukraine, was it $100 million? It just for like, we're going to send more. I guess I can Ukraine, U.S. aid. Here, this is the one. So 3 days ago, U.S. to announce new military aid package. Here, do you see that? Roughly $400 million. Okay, so the government can do that, no problem. We have the money to just willy-nilly throw to another country without any Americans being like, yes, this is what we want.
Correct. No, right. And that does not
but meanwhile,
at all.
but meanwhile, our teachers were like, "Oh, we can't. We have no money. We can't do it."
But
It's like
you know
we have
why?
the money.
Because those government people are making loads of money off the fucking money being given to Ukraine.
Yeah,
It's fucking
yeah,
corruption.
but that's what I'm saying. It's like it's so crazy, and that's what makes our society worse. Like other countries, like in China, they pump so much money into education because they know that they can become the superpower. They can win the world, and they can become the new America by like winning the culture war of the world by making sure that their next generation is really smart. We're doing the opposite. We're making our next generation stupid as fuck.
Right. America dumbed down the people.
Yeah, and that's why all these problems, that's like the main way you fix a society is you just make sure that the next generation's better than you. And then you're set. But every generation's worse than the last one.
They're the worst. There was a thing Burke said. Did you see the thing by George Carlin descended to all of us?
Yeah.
You saw that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That was what, 20-something years? He died many years ago. It was right on the money.
George Carlin's great. Yeah.
Yeah, even back then it was fucking happening.
Well, yeah, it's not even that, it's not that he's a genius or that he can see the future. It's obvious. All these things are obvious.
But it's all about the corruption, though, Ron. It's all about corruption for the politicians to make more money. That's all it is. And then
the sad part is like it's so obvious, but they're smart. Like the people in power are smart enough that they were like, let's make everyone care about other things, and then they won't care about this, right? So yeah, they can be corrupt as they want, making all these kickbacks on shit, but they're flying the pride flag, so no one's gonna get upset at them, right? It's like they made all these little identity rules that everyone now, it's like you just, even like Ukraine, right? They made it so that you just can't say anything bad about Ukraine. We're on 100% Ukraine side.
You're moving your hand, and it's huge on the screen. So keep being glad you're saying.
But they just make it that you can't say, you can't go against them.
You look bad. You look bad for anything. You go against black. You go against pride. You go against anything. And this is what they do. So yeah, they're very smart, and there's no checks and balances. And the American people are fucking dumb, and they depend on it.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, I mean everyone's dumb. There's no what's a country that you can think of where the masses are smart?
Yeah, but America has bigger problems than other. I mean,
no, but so if you're saying America is dumb, it's like name me a country that's smart.
I don't know.
Right, because none of them are. That's what I'm saying. Like everyone is dumb.
Remember, people are dumb. I've said that from the beginning. People are dumb.
Yeah, but that's the way it is. Where people do you think that America was smart back in the day?
No, but I think the corruption is terrible. The amount of money being spent and causing the inflation.
Yeah, but that's not Americans being dumb. That's power being evil.
Okay, but I think it's a major problem. But I still think Americans are dumb. They are.
Yeah, and we've had this conversation where I think I agree with you, and I think that we need that. The world has gotten a lot worse. The world gets worse for individuals, not as a group, as people get educated. The other way around. The world gets better for individuals, but worse for groups as people get educated. You see it it's happened I just read that whole book on it. We talked about it, the war, or what's called it's called The End of the World is Just the Beginning. And it's all about that. And it tracks an industrialization throughout all these different countries. Right? It's like Europe and America was, we were one of the first in the 1800s. Everyone's kind of started industrializing. Women were, started going to school, getting educated, getting jobs. A middle class developed, right? Everyone kind of started to make a little bit of money. People could have a savings, right? So that's like industrialization. Happened first in Europe in the 1800s, and then it happened in Asia in the 1900s, and now it's happening in Africa. And that's just part of the world now because we're also connected. That can happen everywhere, right? So it's like once the internet started existing, anyone can become educated. You have the internet. But it's made the world worse in every way. So this book like tracks all these things about how he calls it the end of the world, and that we need to move past that. We need to deindustrialize and deglobalize because we're too.
It's probably impossible.
No, it's going to happen because it has to, because otherwise humans won't exist, because we're literally not having enough people to replace the people that currently exist. Because the more people industrialize and get educated, the less children they have. Everywhere in the world, every group, every race, every monetary, right? Like women back in the day, before they had jobs, before they were even able to have jobs or go to school, they would have 7 kids because they would be able to stay at home and take care of all the kids. That was their whole life. Now they go to school, which teaches them you shouldn't stay at home. You shouldn't do that. So they go to school and do that. And then they get jobs. So why would they have 7 kids? They can't, right? They have a job. And so all these countries, Japan is the biggest one. They're because they were one of the first to industrialize like that. And they're having a huge problem where they literally in 50 to 100 years are going to not have people. They're going to run out of people. And then the problem with that is if you don't have people to work, everything crumbles. So it's aren't
they doing artificial intelligence and computers and robots and taking away jobs now for people? Aren't they doing that now? And they make
that'll only speed up the process of people dying off.
Well, no need for people.
But there is a need for people because everything in your screen right now, your shirt, your chair, every single thing behind you, what you ate for dinner tonight, all of that was made by people, other people. So if we lose a quarter of the population of the world, your Amazon orders, it's just not happening. Amazon ceases to exist because there's not enough people in China to run the factories. And so now there's so few people that your $12 charger that you ordered that got here in 2 days now is $40 and it takes you 2 weeks because it's, so it's that's the world with less people. So it's not a good thing.
Oh, I think it's a terrible thing.
Yeah, but you always say, oh, we need less people.
Listen, I'm fine with, look, there's no black or white answer, and there's arguments for the whole gamut of it. There's arguments why we need more people. There's arguments why we don't need more people. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's arguments why, who should be allowed to have more people, children, and who shouldn't have children. And then raising the kids and creating further problems. I mean, there's so many different facets to it. It's not just one conclusory statement as opposed to the other conclusory statement.
No, of course not.
So, but on the same token, I think it's very hard to go back to, maybe I'm wrong, and I don't know.
I don't even think it's definitely going to be hard. The world is going to suffer we're suffering right now. The world isn't roses. Everyone is suffering. Every economy is tanked in the world. No one is making the money that they want. There's civil unrest in every country, where you're America, oh, we have so many problems. There's so much crime, all this shit. That's happening in every country. So it's
I get it, but I can only talk about our country.
Right, but you said it's going to be hard to go back, and it's but I think we're in that process right now.
I hope so. I don't know how it can be. So, I just don't know how it can be.
I think it just is inevitable because at a certain point, if you don't have enough people to run the factories, then the factories just shut down. It's not
But they can do things that the technology is coming where they don't need people to run. They're doing jobs. Robots and machines are doing jobs what people used to do. They're making people's need these services extinct. You see even the pizza delivery little thing that the fucking in California delivering pizza. You see this artificial intelligence, these robots, the way cards are made. There's so many different things. They're just making people become obsolete. I'm not saying I agree.
Yeah, and that's right. So exactly. So if people become obsolete, then the system will crumble. So you said it's going to be it's too hard to go back, right? To put the genie back in the bottle, right? Or Pandora's box, right? Once now we have the internet and we have robots and all these things. So why would we ever go back in time and like, get rid of the modern world as we have it? But if no one has jobs and no one has any money, we will go back. Like we just will, because if no one has any money and no one has any jobs, who's buying the stuff that the robots are making?
Again, I don't know. You're right. I don't know the answer to these things. I don't know if I'll see it in my lifetime, but we do know things that
I think you will see it in your lifetime.
Things need to be fixed.
I think it's going to be the main problem of your lifetime. Although they say that like America's pretty good with it, but like, yeah, let's see. I'll share my screen again. Like if I Google Japan birth, let's see. Japan will disappear without action on births. That was the first one from 4 hours ago. Japan will cease to exist if it can't slow a fall in its birth rate that threatens to wreck the social safety net and economy.
These are just articles, Bronny. Just because written doesn't mean these are just articles.
Yeah, it's just articles from. I mean, we can look at in Japan, they're having like one. They're literally from 1970 to now, their population is like in half, and then the half now, none of them are married, so none of them are going to have kids. So it's like, yeah, of course it is an article, because it's typed up and online. Does that mean it's not true?
Doesn't mean I don't know if it's true.
Right, but like the data that's from the Japanese government. The Japanese prime minister is the one that said that. So it's not an article. It's the government.
Aren't Americans our population decreasing too?
Yeah, that's everywhere that's industrialized, the population is decreasing. In Africa, the population is increasing because they're going through the industrialization process, but it'll just follow our footsteps. They'll just be 100 years behind, But the same thing with China. And China's even worse because China had that one birth policy. For years, China had a one kid policy. So now like no Chinese are having any kids because they don't have the money or whatever. But then it's like, that's bad for us, right? You're like, I only got to care about what's going on in America. And it's like, no, but everything that is in our house is made because there's a lot of Chinese people. And so that's why it's nice and cheap for us. But if we lose all the Chinese people, that make in the factories, it's like we can't buy the shit. And we don't have the infrastructure set up in America to make it ourselves. So if they go away in 100 years, it takes a while to build the infrastructure in America. If they go away in 70 years, let's say Japan goes away. I mean, Japan is already starting to position itself, right? Like they're investing in other countries with a labor force, right? Like Japan is investing crazy in like Vietnam and Thailand, because then they'll just like export their shit. But we're not doing that. Mexico, they say is our biggest one.
And we're building factories in the US, aren't we now?
We're starting to because of all this, because everyone who's like smart in that field is like the writing's on the wall. Like we have to start making our own shit. We can't rely on the Chinese or the Japanese or like those manufacturing countries, because they literally don't have enough people. How do we get on this? Oh, because of education. That's why. Because you were like, everyone's dumb. And I'm like, yeah, we need to go back to having the most of the people dumb. Everyone's actually too smart. Why?
Things. Because this is what I'm seeing the whole time when I'm looking at you. I mean, why? Just don't fucking do it.
Okay. But I do that in person.
No, but you understand, and the thing what I'm seeing, literally, this is what I'm looking at.
Okay,
so
sorry.
If you wanted to do that, that's fine. But this is, imagine.
No, I'll stop. I'm sorry.
You don't apologize, but I don't know why you say why. Because I'm, whatever, it doesn't matter.
No, I stopped. I'm done. I'm done.
Look, I hear you. I don't know what the answer is. You make a lot of valid points. I mean, they all make perfectly good sense.
But it's because the reason why we got on all this is because I said, like I want most people to be dumb. I think that most people shouldn't even have access to the internet, because that's what having dumb people who like have access to information and not always real information.
It's dangerous, right? It gets dangerous.
It's way worse. I'd rather everyone just be ignorant, like doofuses, and ignorant, completely. Like we have like everyone reads the news and all the shit. I don't want anyone to know the news. You know what I mean? Like our society would be better.
Is all bullshit anyway.
That's what I mean. Exactly. Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss, brother. Ignorance.
But so your biggest thing is Americans are dumb, and you view that as a bad thing, I think I think it's good. I think we need most of our country, 90% of our country, to be dumb and to be okay with being dumb.
Well,
Because the problem isn't the smart people in this country. The problem is the dumb people who think they're smart or who want to be smart or whatever, or they're like,
the smart people aren't even so smart.
yeah, but okay, sure. But the danger, what I'm saying is the problem, the smart people who aren't that smart aren't a problem in this country. They're not the ones that are rioting in the streets and all that shit. It's the dumb people who think they're smart.
Dumb fucking people.
Yeah, but it's dumb people who have access to the internet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, look, we know my thoughts on the internet. I mean, that's a big problem.
Yeah, we need to go back to like how it was 200 years ago. We're only
I know. How about just go back to when I was a kid? It's more wholesome, nicer. There was meaning. There was societies, neighborhoods. People respected one another. People respect the elders. They feared police. They feared their teachers.
But that was, it's like if you plant a seed, or like a puppy, right? Of course, everyone wants, when they get a dog, everyone would love their puppy to stay a puppy, but it's going to become a dog at a certain point, and you can't stop it. So if you're like, well, let's just go back to the 80s, how it was back then. It's like, no matter whatever was going on in the 80s is what led us to here. You can't just freeze that moment in time and keep it going.
I know in reality you can. I'm just saying.
And it also wasn't good for, it was good for you.
It was a nice time.
For you.
No, I think for people, things, the thing is, people don't respect, they don't respect the elders, the parents, the teachers, the police officers, authority. No one cares anymore. They don't care. People, it's amazing. And then you talk teachers, they came disciplined. They came fucking wicked intention. I mean, it's unbelievable. When I was a kid, you were afraid of fucking the adult. You were afraid of adults, period. They're like, fuck you. But you're like, I mean, when we were on the boat.
Yeah, but why is that?
Listen, because there's no repercussions for people's actions. That's the thing, the reason why. So I was talking to a teacher about a week ago, and she was saying that, I forget what she said, but she said something to one of the students in the public school, and the fucking 14-year-old kid said, mind your own fucking business, and walked away. Okay? Now,
all my teacher friends say they're like, you have no idea how bad these kids are, and it's within the last 5 years.
Correct. All my friends that are teachers, they say it's the fucking worst. So you know why? That kid has no repercussions. Are you fucking kidding me? That kid, I'm not talking about expelling the kid. Like, do what they do in the fucking army. When my friend's son was in the army, told me, I think I told you the story. He's, you know who it is, and he did something stupid. So he said, picture a parking lot bigger than the fucking airport parking lot. He made him sweep the entire fucking parking lot, and it took like 3 fucking days. And he said when he was done, he comes and goes, I'm done. He goes, you finished? Okay, let's do it again. Okay, do you think that kid is going to fucking not follow the rules next time?
Yeah.
But no, so a kid who literally says, mind your own fucking business, teacher. Well, you know what? It's the school allowing it because they no repercussions for his actions. Period.
Well, it's not even the school; it's every aspect of society allowing it. It's the school allowing it. But that's what I'm saying. Like everywhere you go, it's not like you can't just fix it on one aspect, because everywhere the government, the police.
I'm just giving an analogy of
no, of course. I'm taking your analogy and I'm extrapolating it to a bigger.
It's everywhere where people, the parents drink with their with their kids. Everyone's afraid to say, you can't say this because it's offensive. It's a whole big problem, but it all comes down to everybody in life. No one's perfect, right? Everybody makes mistakes, whatever it is. But the difference is what's happened today. There's no consequences for people's bad actions. That's the problem. You could commit a crime as long as they're $10,000. So what do? No one arrests them. So the stores will close down, and they won't have these stores in those locations. Right. Or people in New York, they fucking could kill somebody, And the police officer who shoots the person for killing somebody, that police officer is the one who goes on trial. You know what I'm saying? So you need, it's like with children. It's very basic, fundamental. You do something wrong, you get punished. Same when I raised you kids, same with our dog, whatever the fuck it was, period. But now, no, we need to talk to them. They need safe space. We need to make sure they have safe space because they can't have their feelings hurt. Just like the police officers that need to go to certain situations and not use their gun, not have a gun. Okay, fuck that. Fuck that, period.
Yeah, it makes everything worse.
Okay, if there are consequences for your actions, those that don't care will suffer their whole life, and those that make bad decisions and learn from their consequence from the actions of their bad choices, they will think twice the second time. It's positive reinforcement and reinforcement for and punishment for negative behavior. Period. We're no different than fucking dogs, but they don't want to do it, so let them not fucking do it. But in my little world, that's how I live my fucking life. That's how the people around me. If you don't fit in my fucking life, fuck you. I don't have to deal with you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And I think that is part of the problem too, is that we're just too big. We need to go back to like a small, right? Like back in the day, you would just like encounter the people in your village, and there were huge consequences for actions. So like no one stepped out of line because either you like didn't get to share in the harvest with the rest of the people, right? So you didn't eat, or you got like ostracized from the community. So you didn't like, right? So there were like, communities were small and tight knit, and that's what kept everything running smoothly. Right. We're too big now.
I always say the pack corrects itself. Okay?
But the pack can't correct itself when it's 370 million.
But listen, but don't say it starts in small things. It will eventually branch out. I can't worry about Miami right now. I need to worry about my home first, then my town, and it branches out. And this is what you do. So if everybody takes care of their own little fucking thing, and has consequences.
That's what I'm saying. We have to go smaller.
Even people say it's amazing how people fucking put their dogs in strollers. Where I saw a woman carrying her dog in a baby Bjorn. Okay, it's a fucking dog.
Right, but what does that have to do with this?
Because people they want to create these environments that are not proper environments for either their children, the school environment for the students, being a pet owner, police officers with the incarceration, employer-employee environment. These are basic environments. The fucking employees are like, nope, I work from home now. You don't like, go fuck yourself. The employees it's the inmates running the asylum. It's the employees running the employers. It's the students running the fucking school board system. It's the fucking kids fucking dictating to the parents. It's the dogs dictating to the fucking owners. Okay, this is the problem. And if people said, this is the way it is, this is how it works, and if you don't like it, get the fuck out. I don't care about your feelings. You'll be surprised that nobody wants to be ostracized. Nobody wants to be alone. Nobody wants to be ostracized, period. And if they don't listen, then they don't fucking listen, period. I have a friend of mine, I'm not gonna mention who it is, because you know who it is. Her son was in fucking college, became a fucking pot in the first year or two, came home. You know what she said to her son? Get the fuck out. Look at me. Get the fuck out. Where we go? I don't care. Guess what? 6 months later, fucking no longer did fucking drugs, came back home and graduate school, working, doing fine. But okay, that's what you do. You're the parent, it's your fucking house. You're been said, no, give me a fucking break. There are rules, there's consequences. You live by the rules. I live by rules. If I fuck up, I deal with it. I have to deal with it. I fuck up. But everyone's like, oh my God, it's like, I feel bad for him. Remember, when fucking Burke was fucking 16, he came home drunk, and those are the rules. And mom, I remember he cried, and mom, and I get it. It's no judgment. Mom felt bad. It's like punishing for 3 fucking months. And she's like, and she felt really bad. I remember that, and I was like, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. It didn't hurt him. He made a choice. He knew, and how dumb can you be to do it and get caught? You know what I'm trying to say? Like if I don't know, maybe I'm ignorance is bliss. I'm better off not knowing he fucking got drunk, he fucking idiot. It's not about him. I'm just making an analogy. All I'm saying is we can't change the world, and we got to wrap this up. We can't change the world, but we can change within our immediate group and our immediate boundaries and how we raise our kids. So
that's what I said. Yeah.
Correct. But I agree with you. It has to start small, 100%. But
Not even start small. It just needs to be small. Like it's not like I should focus on my home and my community, and then it grows to my state, and then my country, and then someone 3,000 miles away. It should just be I'm just saying that we're too big.
well, we need fucking fathers and mothers in the fucking households. Okay?
The fact that there's rules that apply to 400 million people who are also, like I was just saying at the top of the episode, how like people in LA are so different than Miami. It's like we shouldn't all be under the same rules because it doesn't work for all of us.
No, but what does work though, Bronson, is like the Ten Commandments, certain foundations, certain core rules, core values, core ethic, core morals, core structure. There are certain things that human being, just like there's an unwritten rule among the animals in the wild, whatever it is, in their own genre or their own species, there are certain core things. And that works with everybody across the fucking board. Period.
Sure, but that's not what the government does. Of course, everyone agrees that like we should live in a society that doesn't murder. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, when I'm talking about in general, that if a household had a mother and a father and fucking discipline and fucking structure and whatever, we live in a much better society, whether educated or not. Because you don't have to necessarily be educated. If you have love and structure and guidance and parents' home and whatever it is, you're going to be educated so that you can become a good moral person. A good moral person does the right thing when they're given and confronted in a situation. They will err towards doing the right things, not the wrong thing. Where when you don't have discipline and structure and punishment and authoritative figure, the fucking kids become fucking like wild fucking animals and will fucking do whatever, and that becomes the problem. That when we grew up, that 10 o'clock at night on the TV channel, every channel, it would go into a thing, a commercial, do you know where your children are? Okay? That was fucking great. And if you did as a parent, you better find out where your fucking children are at 10 o'clock at night. Different today. It's no structure, no value, no punishment, no fear. The parents are, it's a problem of a lot of shit. So what do? You can't solve the problem. You make sure you raise your fucking kids right and with structure and values so they become better human beings. And hopefully more people do that. And if they don't, then you'll rise above everybody else. What can I tell you? But it's a fucked up world we live in, period. And all I care about is safety of the people I love and care about, and don't take what I earn, and everyone else go fuck themselves. I know it sounds terrible, but I can't change the fucking world. And it's a problem. The more of these people that get like this, and this wokeism, and bullshit, and pussification, it's a problem because it doesn't fucking work. And we know our government's a problem. Both Dems and Republicans are fucking problems across the board. We know that. So I can't fix it, unfortunately, until we get the right government, if that even exists. But I could fix with my own.
Government can't fix any. It's not a government thing that they can fix.
Well, it is getting. We have to follow the advice, don't we?
Like you think that they're. Well, we're already at an hour and 10 minutes, so we probably shouldn't. But we can just save it for next week. Do you truly believe that if we got like the right person, because it's like we vote for the president, we got the right person, we could solve all the problems in this country? Do you think that?
No, Brian, it's not so. You make such a general statements. I'm saying if we got the right person, things would be better for our country. There's always going to be problems. We listen.
But do you think though? Like, that's what I don't know. I feel like I'm taking the stance of you, but I feel this way. I'm like, I feel like there are just things we're too big. There's too many different types of people that it doesn't even matter who we bring in. That a government couldn't right the ship.
All right, I disagree.
The people, I think, have to do it.
Okay, I think there are. Well, the government's made up of people, but I think the thing is this.
No, I mean, I don't mean it takes people. I mean the citizens of America have to do it, not the government.
Okay, first of all, well, based on if you think that 90% of people are dumb, they need to remain dumb. I don't know how you can have citizens change our world. However, I think that.
But dumb isn't bad, Dad. Dumb isn't bad.
I didn't say it's bad.
Right. So, but Dad, every America was started.
But stop.
But I just said I said it's by the people, and you said, but you think all the people are dumb, so how could they ever right the ship? You don't need to be smart to right a ship. America was started by just a bunch of farmers that literally had no education, that just said, we don't want this to be, and they created the greatest country in the world.
But it was much,
Every country.
But it was much smaller.
Exactly. That's the argument I'm making this whole time.
But we can't get smaller. So hear me out.
Of course we can. Florida doesn't need to be part of the United States, and then we're instantly smaller. But isn't that the case? That's what I'm saying. California and Florida we're too far apart literally and personality wise, that like it would be better for everyone if we were.
But that's just America, which we know is huge. What about these other small countries you told me are having problems as well, and they're small too? So it's not necessarily about the size. I'm saying
that's demographic stuff.
No,
I'm talking about cultural right now.
But culturally, there are so many other countries out there that are tiny, that are smaller than the state of Florida, and they're having problems too. I think if you're the right person in our position, that the people want to believe in that leader, and that leader could make a strong economy and have zero tolerance with crime and takes care of our country first, and people are prospering financially, people feel better than themselves. There's a direct correlation. If you lower interest rates, it actually stimulates the economy. If people are making more money, they feel more secure and they're happier. They will spend more money. They will have more children. They will do things. We can spend hours on this. Money doesn't make you happier, but it makes life easier, and people feel more secure with money. People worry when they don't have money. People worry when they can't provide. They worry when they have more kids. They have to work hard, so they can't have children. There's all this in place. So I think when you have a government, a leader that you want to believe in, and it gives you a purpose to believe and makes a stronger economy for our country, things go well. People are happy.
Yeah, I agree with you. And a big part of sorry.
And that's okay. And therefore, they don't need to resort to drugs or alcohol because they don't need to numb the pain. They feel better about themselves.
Yeah. I mean, you know what we're missing in this whole conversation? We've been dancing around it the whole time. And it's actually what will solve all this problem. And it's what kept the world in place. It's what kept societies functioning in the world in place up until like 100 years ago. And it's why it's really like would solve all the problems. Religion. Religion. You said they need like more, right? Religion. So we both agree that most people are dumb, right? So religion's helpful. Religion's especially helpful for dumb people in groups. It gives them something to believe in, someone to believe in. Literally, you can like have God or a priest, right? So you just said you rally behind someone that you believe in. It provides the moral system. It provides repercussions for actions, literally in this world and in the next one.
Well,
religion literally was. It's not like that's. I'm not just like making that up. Religion is the factor. Religion is the thing that built societies, and every single culture since the dawn of time was religious up until like 100 years ago, and now we're having all these problems.
I don't agree with you because I think there's so many different religions out there, and I think it's
but that's no. I'm not saying Christianity is what will solve it. I'm not saying Judaism will solve it. I'm saying religion as an idea, as a practice.
I don't agree with you because I think that we live in a society that the religion, all our wars are based over religion.
Yes, but wars aren't. But we need wars. What do you mean? Wars are amazing. America wouldn't be America without wars.
Ron, I get it. I can't go into these different levels. It's so late,
it's your first thing. You hear religion and you go, religion's bad because it started wars. Religion also created pretty much everything that we do.
You say your stuff, you said it, and then I go to talk about something, and after I say 6 words, and you literally cut me off, and I don't even get to finish what I want to say. I was talking about a leader, then you said, you think it's religion? I said, okay, and I'm talking about what I disagree with, and you just cut me off.
Okay, well, yeah, sorry I cut you off, but when you said a leader and then I said religion, that's me continuing the conversation.
I'm okay with your view on religion, what you just said. I have zero issue on what you said about the religion thing. I'm just giving my opinion on religion. Yeah. You just cut me off. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, sorry.
But I'm not going to religion thing for 1 second. The the America as a whole needs a leader that they believe in. Okay, it's not about Trump or Biden. They need a leader they can believe in that can create a strong economic economy. If there's a strong economic economy in our country, okay, and hopefully people follow, other countries follow in America's footsteps, people feel better, they feel secure. Okay, people start stressing and start turning to drugs and alcohol because they're depressed, they're not feeling comfortable, they need to take away the pain or they need numbness because they're not happy. With money can make life a little bit easier. It creates a stronger economy. It creates a stronger booming real estate market. People want to own homes. They make them feel that's like the American dream. Don't own. If they can't afford a home and they're in, it's a problem. Okay, so this is what the bigger issue is. Now, whether it's religion or individual values within the home, teaching morals and so forth, if people want to believe in religion, great. But all these religions have different views in religion, in their religious beliefs. There's all these wars over religion. They all think this is better, whether it's the Quran or this or that. It's bad what's going on. Look at what's going on in the Middle East as to why we have so many wars and hatred, because there's different views on religious beliefs. But I don't oppose people finding religion to make them better human beings. But that's not going to solve the problem of the economic, political state, safety, how people feel about it. That's not going to solve the problem of our country. It might help individual values where people turn to God or their faith to go ahead and become better human beings, but it doesn't help believing in God.
Isn't that what you said?
No.
The whole thing was that how we solve these problems is in the home. It's teaching the moral values and the good values. That's how we solve the problem.
What I said was, if there's a mother or father and there's people in the house, there's consequence for actions, and you teach values more. But religion doesn't give you consequences.
Wait, I just said
religion doesn't give you consequences.
Of course it does. That's literally what religion is. What? The whole point of religion and the reason why it took off was because that it did give consequence for action. If you sin, you go to hell. And that's the worst repercussion in the world. It's literally the main.
Really? Because in the religion, everyone's sinners and they all repent and then they're not going to hell. So it doesn't work because the religion is so hypocritical.
Okay, well, whatever we're doing right now isn't working either, clearly. The non-religion society of America isn't working either. So
I'm okay with religion. But
I mean, you're not. But
no, you're wrong. You're saying religion will solve the problems in our society.
Religion would solve most of them, 100%. Yeah.
I think having a strong leader that creates a strong economic.
But how would do you think now? Do you really think that we could have one person? That's why I asked you this question. Mm-hmm. That one person can come and like most of America would be behind them. I really don't think that's possible.
I disagree with you. I think people want to follow a leader and want to believe. And if you create a strong economic economy, okay, and a safe society,
economic economy is not a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, an economy.
Wow, you're in fucking rare form tonight, bro.
I was okay. I was trying to. Okay, yeah.
I understand. I said it. So I'm going to correct myself. I said it. I moved on. If we claim strong economy, okay, and we're making money in a safer society, we have a much better fucking place to live than what we're trying to deal with now.
Agreed.
Religion is within the home. It's not going to solve the problems with regard, because if someone fucking doesn't have a roof over their head or have a fucking job, you can pray to God all day long, ain't gonna fucking help you.
Okay, yeah, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm talking about religion as like a governing system, not as like you praying. I'm talking about like how like countries 300 years ago to 1,000 years ago, it was like the government was religion. It wasn't like you had government and then people prayed at home. It was like the government was the religion, and the laws were the religion, like Judaism, right? All the rule, like the commandments, they're religious laws. We just happen to in America have secular laws. Our laws are just based on us making them up. Where in religion, it's based on the religion. I'm
I
not.
don't. I think there's too many different religions out there. I don't agree. I don't.
Yeah, okay, no, that's yeah, okay, yeah. We're just not having the same like conversation, but that's fine. Of course, there are too many religions. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the idea of religion would make this world better.
I understand what you're saying, and I don't. I don't agree with you. I think religion.
Okay, fair enough. That's fine.
If people are choosing, I think that it's not the idea of religion. The fact of family fucking dying, a family being a family.
Yeah, but that's religious.
No, it's not.
Dad, marriage is religious. It's become secular, but like marriage was religion created marriage. Marriage didn't exist before religion came in and made it a thing. Family values are religious. No one just is born with family values. Now in America, because I mean, America is based on like Judeo-Christian values. So we just think of them as American values. But all your American values of mother and father in the home, education, all that stuff, those are religious. Those come from religion. They just do. You might not think they do, but they do.
Okay, fine. I'm not conceding what you're saying. I don't have a problem with people that want us to pray to God and do whatever they want.
That's not what I'm saying. We're talking circles around each other, so it's fine.
All right, let's go. I'm done. I'm tired anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, we've been an hour and 20. I just got home.
No, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
All right. So everybody, talk to you soon. Thanks for listening, and we'll hopefully see us on the Patreon on Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah. Love you, Dad.
Love you too, Barney Boo.
Bye.
You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me.
The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.